today I'm doing a review on a series called the Maximum Ride series by James Patterson. And if you know who James Patterson is, you know he mainly does kind of like adult novels, kind of crime and mystery novels. And this is one of his kind of, I suppose, a YA novel, a young adult novel. But I would say it's more aimed at a younger audience, for like 12-year-old-ish. But for someone of my age, it was a little bit childish, I have to say. Like a lot of YA novels out there, I think are suitable for all ages, but this one is definitely for a younger audience. Although I have to say, I did enjoy the series at the beginning. It's about the main kind of character is Max, and she and the rest of her kind of siblings, they were bred in a laboratory called the school, and they're 98% human but 2% avian. So they have bird DNA in them, which means they have wings and they can fly, and throughout the books then they develop kind of other powers. But the main thing is they can fly, and they're just 6 kind of kids, and they're like fugitives from the school because they want to live normal lives. And there's Max, their names are quite strange. There's Max, there's Fang, Iggy, the Gas Man, Nudge, and Angel. And it kind of reminds me of the Dark Angel series on telly. The main character's name is even Max, but the first 3 books are kind of set together, and then there's books 4 to 7, and they're kind of set together. And James Patterson said he's bringing out an 8th and final book called Nevermore, and that will be out next year in 2012. I read books 1 to 6. I didn't read book 7 yet. I'm not sure if I will. But the first 3 anyway, I did enjoy. I thought they were like exciting, and they were different, and you really got into the characters and how they survived and how they got on. And yeah, I think the first book was definitely the best for me. Mainly because when I bought my MP3 player, kind of going off point. When I bought my MP3 player, my Zen MP3 player, I got a free audiobook with it, and I was like, this is great. So I listened to it, and it was the first book in the Maximum Ride series, and it was the best audiobook I ever listened to. It was read by Evan Rachel Wood, and she was brilliant because her voice just wasn't annoying. I really enjoyed it, and it was brilliant too because there was like music in the background for different scenes. You have to really set up the atmosphere. Like when there was a fight scene, there was action music. When something sad happens, there was like sad music. I did enjoy the first 3, but to the negative, books 4 to 6 for me, they just got progressively just kind of outrageous and over the top, and in every book they kept developing more powers, which was strange. Like they only had 2% avian DNA, so like where are these powers coming from? And I know as well this series is kind of aimed at kids, so you kind of have to take everything with a pinch of salt. But it did get a bit out there for me. And then they had a dog in it, and it was a talking dog, which was the most irritating dog ever, because I got the audio version of the second book, which was read by different people. Worst audiobook ever. And the person who did the voice of that dog thought it was just the most irritating voice. Oh my god, I think that's why I hate the dog. No, I hate the dog anyway, but the voice just made it worse. But yeah, and as well, the books kind of change narrator now and then. So yeah, so throughout the books, these 6 kids, they kind of go through all these different dangerous kind of situations, because they're on the run at the beginning from the school, and they get caught and they escape, and some other things happen, and in the middle then they start kind of focusing on global warming, and they try to kind of stop that, and it gets quite political, and the author kind of preaches you a bit about global warming and kind of like how we're damaging the environment. And there was kind of a love, I suppose, a little bit of a romance in the books, which if there wasn't that, I would have stopped reading even earlier, because that was the only thing too that kept me engaged, like, ooh, what's going to happen with these 2 characters. So that kind of as well brought up the kind of age target a little bit too. The fact that there was a romance in it, because if that wasn't there, it was just really, really childish books. So do I recommend the series? I recommend the first 3 books, and I wouldn't recommend the rest. They're just not worth the trouble, really. And they are making a movie version of this series, I think, and apparently in 3D. And there's rumours about who's going to be playing who, but I think it'll make a great movie, actually. Really different, watching these like kids fly with their giant wings. I think kids out there would love the movie, and I think it is a great series to get young kids into reading. The first 3 books, anyway. Okay, so that was basically my review. Now I'm going to move on to more spoiler-filled reviews, so I'm just going to include a few details about what I thought about them. So if you don't want any details of spoilers, switch off now. Quickly, press the button. Okay. So as I said, I liked the Max-Fang relationship. It was one of the few things in there that kept me going, that kept me like wanting to read the next to see what would happen with them. And then when I got to the 6th book, you know, Fang did this kind of like selfless heroic thing and left Max just like sad note, and said we'll meet up again in 20 years. I said I hate the total, that bloody annoying dog. He talked and he got progressively annoying, and then he ended up getting married to this other dog. Yeah, I would have just left him behind ages ago. Another irritating character, I don't know how other people don't see this, is Angel. She is a little brat. She never does what she's told. They're constantly getting into trouble because of her, because she either runs away, she goes back for this teddy, or remember when they were doing the global warming thing in the 4th book, she goes running after a penguin and other people go after her and they almost die in an avalanche because of her. And she like goes away and betrays Max in the 6th book, and she's a little evil child, if you ask me. And even she's so young, she was grand in the 1st book, you know, she sounded cute and everything, and Max was very protective of her. But Angel, my goodness, she's not the nicest child. What also kind of bugged me is how they escaped out of these dangerous situations so many times. Like, they were almost killed about 27 times in all, I say. And the baddies were just so slow. Like, they could have killed them like that, but they loved talking about it and dragging out and locking them up, and oh god, it's like after a while it got like a bit too much. Like, come on, they can't escape again. I did like the whole, remember in the 1st book when Max had the voice in her head, and the audiobook too was quite cool because you could hear the voice. It was like a kind of like a robotic voice. It sounded really different. It's not like when you're reading a book and it just has the quotes, you know, like it was quite cool. And like, she kept getting the headaches, and I know it added an interesting element to it, and you know, the rest of the kids were worried about her, and yeah, I liked that element. And then we find out it was, you know, who the voice was, which is kind of predictable. Like, I don't know why I didn't think of that already. But when she meets her mother then, Dr. Martinez, there's no bitterness towards her. I was like, didn't she like agree to be a part of this experiment and then just give away her child? Like, Max hates Jeb, but she holds no grudge against her mother. But anyway, that turned out to be like a sickly sweet ending there. Like, the one woman she kept referring back to, she spent one day with them and she kept referring back to them, saying, oh, how I'd love to be with them, and wow, it turns out to be her mother. Ooh. But again, I do have to think of this as a kiddie series, so I can't judge it too harshly as well. I mean, I know all things aren't realistic, but anyway, so yeah, that's my review and all. There were lots of little elements in there that bugged me, but overall I enjoyed the first three books, but I wouldn't bother with the rest. I would be interested though to see how the movie turns out. So thank you very much for watching my review today. As usual, let me know if you have any other recommendations out there. I'm reading Eve of Darkness at the moment, which is kind of good, kind of bad. But anyway, check out my other reviews if you are looking for something else to read, and tune in next time.